Gun control initiatives bring an emotional and divisive gun control debate front and center.
This is KBOI 2 News, first at 4.
And from every family who never imagined that their loved one would be taken from our lives by a bullet from a gun. Every time I think about those kids, it gets me mad.
Today, President Obama tears up at the White House while issuing an executive order to tighten gun control and enforcement. The president's 10-point plan now includes requiring dealers who sell guns on the internet and at gun shows to be licensed and conduct background checks, changing a federal privacy rule to keep people with mental health restrictions from possessing guns. Also, asking Congress to approve funding for an additional 200 agents and investigators at the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives, and hiring more than 230 additional FBI employees to help process background checks. Executive orders are often used by a president as an end around Congress to avoid debate and opposition. Scott Logan takes a closer look at this policy tool in our team coverage.
Critics, especially in the GOP, are quick to claim President Obama is exceeding his authority and acting illegally with his latest executive order.
There's a common criticism anytime any president uses executive orders to do something the other party doesn't like. It's not an accurate criticism.
Professor Justin Vaughn teaches presidential politics at Boise State University. He says executive orders are generally used to direct federal agencies in carrying out established policies. They have the force of law and do not require congressional approval. Executive orders are nothing new. They've been around since the country was founded, and every president has used them. Even the first president, George Washington, but the use expanded in the 20th century.
There's a huge explosion in the use of executive orders. But that's also because the White House was growing, the federal government was growing rapidly.
President Truman used an executive order to integrate the armed forces. President Eisenhower used one to desegregate public schools. But a new president can scrap existing executive orders, and that's what Republican presidential hopefuls vow to do with this one. All unsigned that fast, tweeted GOP frontrunner Donald Trump. Scott Logan, KBOI 2 News, Boise.
After 9/11, President George W. Bush used an executive order to create the Department of Homeland Security. We did some research and found executive orders peaked with FDR in the 30s and 40s. The 32nd president issued more than 3,700 executive orders. Looking at more recent leaders, Bill Clinton issued 364 and George W. Bush 291. So far, President Obama has issued around 200.